Oh yeah. What's this about? His
Oh, we'll talk about that. But we're live. What is up,
okay. Oh,
everyone?
really?
Welcome
Right.
to the Football Chatbox. My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Game Week 6 podcast. And I'm joined by my co-host Karan, who's been having a lot of chips recently. I don't know whether he's been having it with fish and
So
chips or whether he's been having the chips just alone with barbecue sauce, tomato sauce. I don't know what your preference is, Karan, but it seems like you're going to be having another side of chips this week as well, from the looks of it.
yeah, I mean, FPL is going to be boring when I'm playing all my chips, which will be next week.
And then I'm also
But
joined by a favorite guest who we had on last time as well, and got rave reviews about it, Ayon, who, when he's coaching his team, I don't know what he thinks about when a player who has this yellow card and then takes off his shirt to celebrate ends up getting another yellow card.
Oh my god. Dude,
what do you do in that situation?
The ghost of Darwin Núñez still lives long in Liverpool. Yeah, it's a bit of a brainless move, but look, I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit later, and I have some thoughts, of course. But yeah, great to be on.
Indeed. All right. Welcome everyone. Everyone in the chat. Andy, Sam, and FPL Gov as well. Welcome all of you. Karan's also in the chat, reading the chat while on pod. If anyone is here, obviously listening to this on audio in terms of Spotify or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Make sure to follow as well. 5-star review goes all the way. And if you're watching here live right now, smash a like and subscribe. All right. We've got a few nice, interesting clickbaity titles. We're going to be talking about how Arsenal progress the ball, and can Liverpool's midfield actually dominate for the next 5 to 8 years? Haaland is more than a pure goal scorer. We'll have a discussion point on that as well as is November international break the last for Amorim? Oh, will he live on? Return of the Jedi or Return of Amorim? I don't know. We'll see. And Reece James, is he the only good thing about Chelsea? We'll see.
all right, let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. So we'll start with how Arsenal progressed the ball. We'll take the passing networks. This is from our stats. For anyone who's watching this on the audio, you if you're watching this on Spotify, you can still see, because I upload the video, so you might be able to look it on Spotify. But if you're watching this on Apple Podcasts, I don't think so. But we basically had the passing network of Arsenal and Man City from the recent game. This is basically the passing network of until the first substitution, I guess, made by, was it Arsenal or City who made the first sub? Not really sure.
Well, Arteta made his two changes at halftime, so I'm assuming it was him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but yeah, so did City. They took Kusanov off at halftime as well, so both made changes at halftime.
Okay.
The first half only.
Yeah. Oh, well, this goes up to the 51st minute, so I guess his majority is first half, and then Kusanov.
Is that because 51st minutes is the first sub?
No, Kusanov was subbed at halftime, right? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and Saka came on at halftime as well.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is just more until halftime, because it doesn't have Saka and all of them in here. So yeah. Just a first half passing stat. And it kind of shows, like, obviously number 20 in Madueke, who is now unfortunately injured for 2 months, was the extremely high upfront right winger attack. In terms of build-up play, everything is going towards Declan Rice still, in terms of number 41, with Calafiori as an interesting point. Where is Calafiori? 33. Oh, sorry, who is 36? Zubimendi. Oh, Zubimendi and Declan Rice as the two, I guess, midfield commanders of Arsenal, basically dictating play. Gyökeres, now obviously this is a hard game, so you don't expect the striker to be involved too much in build-up play. Some have said he's a flat-track bully more than anything, which is why he's probably, when it comes to the big games, he hasn't been involved in as much. Obviously, small sample size. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, Karan, go ahead. I'm sure you have some thoughts on this.
I mean, Arsenal just forced Pep to actually play on the back foot, right? And I think we knew this, like when Gyökeres doesn't have space to run into, I think he's quite a limited player. But that's a limitation that they accept, because he's always, as long as you have him, you're always going to threaten with a transition. So yeah, this happened. I'm not surprised that it happened. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again this season.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So my kind of thoughts on this as well is like it's probably echoed by a lot of Arsenal fans too, like and how they were kind of very pissed off almost about how defensive Arteta went for this game, and when you consider the circumstances about Rodri being not full kind of capacity still at this point, City still not looking as dominant as they have in the past, and considering City played 2 days after Arsenal did in the Champions League, it was really an opportunity for them to go at them, right? But obviously, them playing the low block, especially in that second half, where they were just hoofing the ball away, like it was Stoke City rather than Manchester City, right? But the thing is that like Arsenal just like I feel they really lacked that person who could receive the ball in between the lines, right? It's not like City are very, very well drilled at doing this, right? Like realistically, how many times have we actually seen City behave like that? It's almost a shock to a lot of us. So if they had played Eze from an earlier, point in the game, or obviously I don't even know if Odegaard was on the bench here. But yeah, just that ability to take the ball on the half turn and really just kind of create something once the defense has to collapse onto you is something that they really missed. And I think that's probably what a lot of Arsenal fans would say. It has been their problem for kind of a long time. And even Odegaard, when he has been playing, back end of last season was, to put it nicely, very poor from him. Like the drop off, it was just so massive. And the amount of times that he would just almost receive the ball between the lines, but then not drive with it forward, almost like do a spin or pass it backwards, something that must be hugely frustrating. So it just means that Arsenal is just so unbelievably predictable in the way that they kind of progress the ball. Like, yeah, sure, you might get Zubimendi and Rice to get on the ball, great, but are they going to take the ball on their back foot and really drive forward, or are they just going to play a sideways pass? Which is what kind of like that passing map is kind of showing us. Or do they ping it to the wingers, who are inevitably very good at taking on their man, but what's the kind of output that they're able to achieve? Obviously, Saka is elite. He's not fully fit. I could so see him picking up another injury now that he has to almost be rushed back because Madueke is out. And the whole issue that they have on the left side with who's going to kind of play there, especially if they need Eze to play in the center, as I've kind of mentioned. So, just kind of a lot of question marks on these. Like, have they become predictable? What will they do when they face these low blocks going forward from teams that are much better drilled at it than Manchester City are? And do they actually have the tools to kind of win the league this way? Because right now it's very almost like he doesn't want to lose. And like this is something that I think about Arteta for so long, and I'm sure this is like a common sentiment. All of the records that Arteta has kind of like held or that we've talked about is always about not losing. Like the whole thing about them not losing to a big six team for like 2 years or whatever. How many of those games were wins? I actually don't know like how many of those were wins, but it's just never mentioned. And then there was another thing that was like put up, like Arteta's the first manager to face Pep 5 times in a row without losing. Again, we're not talking about the wins, we're talking about not losing, right? Like, so like that's very, especially when you're in a league with teams that will go out and take risks and will go out and grab things. You can't just be like, we can't lose. You have to win games. And obviously, like, yeah, to your point, like about Gyökeres not necessarily being big in these games. I know this sounds really weird, but like you spend 60 million on a striker not to be effective in big games, but that's almost what Arsenal have done. Like they always want to turn those, what was it, 13 or 14 draws from last season into W's, right? And that's where they kind of like make up the difference in points, which is perfectly fine. But like, again, does that mean that he's just going to go super defensive in the big games and then try to steamroll the smaller teams? I'm not particularly sure if that's a winning strategy, considering what Liverpool are capable of being and have already shown.
I think that's what has been like the question marks of Arteta even last season, where a lot was asked about, you need to go to these big teams and you need to win. Or even if you like, okay, coming away with a draw, they usually say like coming away with a draw against a top team at their home ground, it's fine. But at your home ground, you have to win that game. And here, if you're treating like draws as a win, doesn't really, like, you're not still in that part of where you're a title challenger, like a proper title challenger. Because a proper title challenger will go there, get the win at their own home turf against any opponent. And even though Liverpool are not playing well, they've so far won 5 out of 5 in the league. So the more that continues, it's just like, I think last season also it got to a point where the gap was too much and then Arsenal just could not catch up. Because so you need to go, like, the league is just, the league is competitive, but at the same time, there's a gap in terms of competitiveness as well. Like there's a small group that is like clearly ahead, and they're able to beat most of the other teams. But the problem is, if one team continues to like keep racking up the points, the other team, if they go cautious in some games, they're not going to be able to like catch up after that, because you'll just knock off draws here, there, and everywhere. And it might look small now, but eventually all of that builds up, right? And you're just like,
yeah, absolutely.
You just got so many
100%.
points you missed out on.
Yeah. So like from a coaching perspective, like this is what we talk about quite often. We talk about like floors and ceilings. So Arteta's Arsenal unquestionably has a super high floor. Like they won't make mistakes to lose games, like stupidly or something like that. But it seems, and obviously that term, handbrake on has been mentioned quite a lot. It seems like he's limiting their ceiling on the off chance that their floor might fall through. And that's, something that, other managers just don't do, especially at this level. And in many ways, I think that Arteta is the right man for Arsenal, just at the wrong time. It's his first major job. He hasn't been deep into a competition aside from the Champions League last year. That's not even the final, though. And the only kind of final day thing he's had was when they went to the last day of the season, kind of 2 years ago. And they were playing Westham then. They weren't playing like a quality team, right? So, I mean, that's not to knock the things that he's done, but when you consider who he's going up against, I mean, Pep Guardiola, possibly the greatest manager of all time, and the guy that won the league last year already with a kind of like transitional squad, what kind of else is there? And like is he the nearly man? And this whole thing with that he's recently been saying about like how his finishers are, just as important as his starters, like that's cherry picked straight from the Gareth Southgate kind of, playbook. So, like, is he trying to be Gareth Southgate to Arsenal, and then they're going to hire somebody else after him? So, it's a lot of questions, to be honest, about Arteta.
I guess we'll see.
I have a slightly different opinion. Yeah. I actually think Arteta is a very, very good coach. Like, I feel like I didn't give him enough credit when he first came through. And yeah, I agree with you that maybe the risk aversion means that they don't realize the complete upside. But he's really raised their floor. Like those were like 3 second finishes in a row, right?
Yeah, they've improved
like they were pretty
significantly.
They're honestly like an injury crisis away from winning the title. Like if you're in the if you're in the conversation, then and you just get a little bit lucky with injuries or some other team gets unlucky, like he's elevated them to consistently be in that conversation. Like I think this approach can still win the title. Like we've had heaps of pragmatic teams win the Premier League in the last 10, 15 years, right? Like a lot of Ferguson's teams were overall pragmatic. Conte had pragmatic teams.
True.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, like those seasons, the required points total was lower as well, I should say. So you're not competing. The thing is, okay, this is where when people say the league has become stronger, I kind of have a mixed opinions about it, because is it really stronger if one or two teams are hitting 90 plus points every single time? Not really, right? It's more so that's why I said there's like that gap in terms of like there is everyone in the middle is really strong on their playing field, and then there's like the playing field above, which is where you have like the Liverpool, Arsenal, and City who can batter everyone else below them. So the three of them are competing with each other, and then everyone else is competing with each other. So to take that next step, you need to go to the Liverpools and the Cities, and you need to beat them as well to take points off them. Because like end of the day, if all of them play each other and they've beaten everyone else, and Arsenal just lose to those two, they're not going to win the league, right? That's the thing.
I think the good news for Arsenal is that they have, through this pragmatic approach, they've like built a really elite, really deep backline, right? And it's just the best defense in Europe, right? And now the tactical meta, especially in the Premier League, seems to be shifting back towards because every team is pressing now, every team is comfortable passing the ball around. So now the meta is shifting back to a transition-heavy style. So if Arsenal can harness their strong defense and turn it into that, like this could generally be a league-winning style. Like I think they were quite unlucky to not get a win against Liverpool. That could have gone either way, right?
Yeah, that could have.
Same as this one, right?
Yeah.
So,
but like, yeah, he needs to take that risk, I guess. So we'll see. Like, I think I was a bit shocked that Eze didn't start that game as well, and he started Trossard instead of Eze. but like that is where those few risks that needs to be taken, like because, and the same way you could have said that Pep going defensively kind of gave the ball to Arsenal a bit more.
I mean, it's the lowest percentage. Just a quick stat about that. It's the lowest percentage he's had since he's been a senior manager. It was 32.8% or something like that.
What a ridiculous start. Like, he's just full on respecting them, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's not I don't think this is some genius strat. He's just like, he knows the midfield can't be contested, and he's just giving it up.
Yeah.
Who Pep?
Yeah, Pep.
Yeah, so like
this is a crazy thing to say about Pep. Like,
no, but then
he's never done that.
This was against Arsenal, right? So he would have probably thought like they don't have the creators to break down this backline.
Yeah,
but then
that
that's
makes
why that is why I was like, okay, why? That's why you needed to start Eze, because he was that, and it kind of showed, right? He was the one who made that pass to Martinelli, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Sorry, I just want to just go back to your contention of my point about Arteta. So all of the managers that you listed that have won the league with that kind of pragmatic style had won previously. That's the difference. That's what I think the difference is between Arteta and those guys, is that he doesn't necessarily have the stones to make the tough decision when he needs to. So again, I'm going to go back to Odegaard because he was such an interesting example last season. I don't think anybody could have predicted his drop off in output or form. And it's to the point people thought that he was ill, like that he had cancer or something, that his face was like gaunt and he looked like a skeleton or something like that. Exactly. That's what people were saying. And I was just like, oh, okay, sure. Okay, right. And obviously he's the captain of your team, right? It takes a massive thing to say, hey, you're not going to start this game because you're the captain of my team. I'm not saying that he needed to do that, but particularly in the PSG game in the semi-final last year, he's not playing well. You've got Wanyeri on the bench. Sure, he's not Odegaard and he's 17 years old or something like that, but you need to make a change if something's not going your way. Like he's so risk averse that he won't even roll the dice with that kind of thing. Which is like the thing that good managers can do. They can make changes which might seem like a roll of the dice, but they are calculated in the output that they can expect from the players that they're going to bring on. So in a lot of ways, he does seem to lean on the guys that are tested, which has obviously been to his detriment to the point where these guys are getting injured, right? Like he's not necessarily managing them in the right way, because he almost, obviously I can't speak for him, but it almost seems like he's afraid of trusting other people. And you have this massive squad, but do you use the squad effectively is such a big part of the game as well.
I guess we'll see.
He has his favorites.
Yeah, he has favorite, but I guess compared to past, he now you could say has more depth in attack than previously, like quality in terms of depth, compared to where previously he probably didn't have that same level of quality, which is why he went heavily on like trusting certain players. So I guess we'll see. It's still early in the season. We'll see if he changes or not, or how he approaches the next couple of tough games as well, which they don't have. I mean, Newcastle is one, but then
Newcastle
after that,
away, right? Like it's pretty tough gig.
Yeah. And
as we found out,
after that, it's like it gets a bit more easier for a decent time at least. Yeah.
I mean, do we want to discuss this chart? I mean, like, it seems very interesting.
Yeah. So since Karan did mention about teams going direct a bit more this season, this is basically a chart showing how the Premier League has changed compared to last season, where a lot more teams are now going more direct this season, including Manchester City as well, which we've kind of noticed a bit more. Hence why now when Pep went and sold Ederson and got in Donnarumma, you were like, oh, you're getting a goalkeeper who's not really known for passing out from the back kind of thing. So this kind of shows where, like, is Pep evolving? Maybe, potentially. There's been a huge talk about it on social media this week. But there are also other teams that are going direct at the moment. The only interesting one is like Chelsea is going the other way. So they're going more build-up play compared to being like in terms of directness. I don't know if that has to do with obviously the attack, some of the attackers that they've signed. Like even Joao Pedro is more of a pass around, get involved in the play kind of type of player compared to like Jackson, who I would associate as stretching the lines and being a bit more direct in terms of play. You have Crystal Palace as well, who's a bit more involved in terms of going up build in terms of pass completion and everything. I guess that's more of getting used to the system of what the manager wants, getting a bit more better understanding of what the manager wants. And I think Palace how do I put this? I was watching this video on Palace just now. In terms of why they have unbeaten like in the last 17 games, they love to attack really fast in terms of transition. They'll get it up from one side of the pitch to the next one in incredible speed using their wingbacks mainly. So you could say in terms of directness, I don't know. Does this measure like directness in terms of like, are you going like really fast in terms of like from your side to the other side? How quickly do you get it, or is it more of like the amount of times that you keep doing it? I'm not really sure how it measures it.
Exactly. Probably in as few actions, right?
Probably, yeah. So yeah, I thought I'll add this here because it seems like a lot of the league is just like transition at the moment. Thoughts?
And well, that's the natural counter to the league becoming possession heavy over the last 10 years.
Yeah, fair enough.
And pressing, of course, right? Like to avoid pressing.
Yeah.
Well, as in, you see it quite a lot as well. Like from the kickoffs, like they're kicking for touch most of the time. Like it's rugby. Basically, just kind of get that position. So again, it's a new trend. But then
is it an old trend that it's been recycled again?
Well, yeah. Look, it's like fashion. It's all cyclical, isn't it? So, yeah, we'll kind of see how it kind of moves in that direction.
But yeah, something interesting to keep an eye out for. Which, if I was to touch this with FPL, we have obviously Defcon now in terms of FPL, and you'll be wondering why a lot of defenders are getting a decent amount of Defcon and consistently as well. For example, if you see Bournemouth here, one of the most direct teams, and people who have Senesi in that team, he tends to get like the Defcon points as well. Now Ayon is like I'm gonna have to explain to you Defcon as well.
Defensive contribution.
Yes, exactly. You were there last time. So
no, I was it. Yeah.
The reason he tends to get it more is because Bournemouth love a transition up and down basketball game type play, and because of the amount of defensive work he has to do, he tends to get it high as well. So you can kind of correlate this to FPL as well.
So from this chart,
yes,
who would you pick as having good Defcon, and does that line up to real?
So obviously Senesi is one.
Yeah.
As
in, what's the rough rule set? Is it like bottom left? Bottom left is good for Defcon.
Yeah, I would probably say bottom left. If you look at all the teams in bottom left, they're all Defcon, right? Yeah, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth,
Brentford, Vandenberg.
Yeah, Newcastle, Dan Burn.
Yeah,
Tarkowski from Everton. You have Fulham just on the edge of there in terms of Anderson.
Maybe Brighton's gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, probably. That could all because they've been hitting like Weltman and Dunk and all. They've been hitting it quite often.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So maybe this bottom left quadrant is where you're like, okay.
I think what's happened is the amount of points that Defcon gives you was balanced based off last season's trends.
Yes, but
and it was fine. But then now that plus the fact that football like has taken a tactical turn.
Yep.
Means that everyone's getting Defcon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, basically, you want to pick, from a coaching perspective, you want to pick the players that have to defend the most amount of space because they're likely to make more defensive contributions.
Yes.
As opposed to teams who sit in front of their own. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yes. Right. So I mean, like obviously, like that's Van Dijk under slot, right? Like because basically we'd just be like, hey, you just defend half of this field while the rest of our team attacks.
Exactly.
So often in a centre back pairing, you want the guy that's the proactive guy.
Yeah, that's kind of stepping out.
You want the guy that steps out first. And not the guy that covers.
This is the whole cat dog theory of your centre backs. Yep.
Wait, you want the dog. You always want the dog.
You want the dog, right?
Yeah. So that like Romero and Van de Ven is your good example in terms of that. But like
Romero's good at it. Van de Ven's bad at it.
Yep.
So you want the slower centre back because the faster one is more likely to hang back and cover.
Yes.
There you go.
So
there's a hot tip for you.
So is that Van Dijk in Liverpool?
No, it's Kanate. You see him pressing up quite a lot.
Yeah,
Kanate is. To be fair, they both cover behind space when teams try to go over the top of us to avoid the press. But you see Kanate quite a lot get touch tight to a centre forward and just like stick out one of his long. Very Fabinho-esque of him. Like he just kind of sticks out a leg around the side, just like chops the ball in.
But this is more.
Tarkowski has hit the bonus every single game this season.
Wow.
Yes.
So he's 5 out of 5.
Obviously,
him and Senesi.
Yeah. And the promoter teams have a few defenders in there as well. So Sunderland are not in here, but I would assume they would be. I actually don't know where Sunderland, because I have like the. I guess the attack hasn't been. It's very hard to tell in terms of how they attack. Yeah. So yeah, but like so yeah, thought we'll add this as well. Now let's move to what was the other talking about? Liverpool's midfield could dominate for the next 5 to 8 years. I was ready to counterpoint this when he put it in the group chat. I was like, 5 to 8 years. You're dreaming, my friend. Although look, 5 is not too bad, I think.
Okay, look, the timing that I put on this is very intentional. And it's all actually coming off the point about kind of like why is Vert struggling so much, and obviously like he hasn't shown what he is truly capable of. But like when you think about like his ability to progress the ball through carrying, which Gravenberch also does really well. That's just kind of hasn't been rewarded as well. Like there was a shot in the Champions League where Salah crashes against the post where he really should be kind of putting that away. And like, that's an assist that will kind of go against his name. So that's why kind of like assists aren't really the best measure for actually showing kind of like creativity, right? You want to always kind of qualify kind of big chances created. But like the reason why I've kind of gone with this kind of thought of the next 5 to 8 years is when we look at our midfield right now, they're all super young. Like McAllister is the oldest at 26. And that's why I was very kind of, picky with this number of 5 to 8 years, but Gravenberch is 23. He's probably the best midfielder in the league right now. There's actually nothing that he can't do on the pitch when you think about it. Like aside from maybe take people on 1v1, but he runs past people all the time by kind of dropping that shoulder. Yeah. But like not like Messi style, like kind of 1v1 kind of thing. But he does dribble really, really well. Obviously, displayed his finishing ability, in that game goal against Everton, which is so fantastic. And from a coaching perspective as well, like you could not ask for a better finish. Like the first thing that I literally tell every single striker is you cannot score unless you hit the target. And that's basically all he tried to do. And it was like a nice little, almost like flicking of the wrist, but flicking of his ankle just to kind of guide that ball in, which is just so beautiful. And again, like he's only 23 years old. Dominic Szoboszlai is a manager's dream, like in terms of play. Can play in multiple positions, transitional demon, and not to mention 2 absolute magic moments that have won us basically 4 points in that kind of dummy for the Newcastle goal and the free kick against Arsenal. And McAllister, who I haven't mentioned it, just finished 22nd in the Ballon d'Or voting. Now, I don't put much credence on the Ballon d'Or because it is much more,
popularity,
propaganda. I mean, Cole Palmer finished 8th, which makes no sense whatsoever. He scored one non-penalty goal since January. Like it's woeful. But obviously doing well in the Club World Cup, and then the Conference League matters a little bit for some reason. So, and it's a FIFA competition, so of course they're gonna value that more. But yeah, all I'm trying to say is that like our worst midfielder is in the conversation for being one of the best in the world as well, out of those 3 this season, right? So when you look at how that can kind of develop under a new coach who's only his 2nd year in as well, he didn't necessarily pick these guys either, but he's been able to improve them so much. That's why I'm thinking that like they're going to get better and better and better as they play together, and they kind of tick all the boxes that kind of like the kind of like stalwart midfields that we've seen in the past have done so well. We talk about Pep's Barcelona midfield. We talk about the Real Madrid midfield that won 3 UCLs in a row. Those guys all had very complementary skill sets. And I can see that across these 4 guys, Verts included.
I think as long as they keep winning, then the pressure will be less, and like you have room to grow, which would potentially help Verts as well in terms of like settle in. But if it like flips, right, and what's like Liverpool start going through a tricky patch in terms of fixtures, because they're about to hit actually a slightly tricky pack of like a fixture block, and if they don't perform, and then you start the questions that start appearing in the media about is Worth actually delivering for his price, blah blah blah, that just puts pressure on a brand new player that is probably not deserved as well, because he's come into a different league, has to adapt and everything. So we'll wait and see. But honestly, in terms of age bracket, you probably have a really good crop of players, is what I would say. In terms of
absolutely
midfield
as well. And I think for Verts as well, I think the limiting factor at the moment is just the physicality of it. He literally needs to put on a bit of muscle. Like I see him getting pushed off the ball so often. He came off in the Arsenal game saying he's never felt cramped in so many places before in his entire life, which is fine. And another point that I thought about as well is that we have a lot of precedents of, well, a couple of players that were absolutely critical in Klopp's kind of evolution in Robertson and Fabinho. They didn't play for the first 6 months after they signed, and they did not show anywhere near the levels of talent that Wirtz did before coming to the club. So, to your point, Ryan, exactly. Like, if we were losing, then people would be like, this guy's ass, like he's a flop.
Yeah.
Like, how could we spend so much money on all this kind of thing? But by virtue of our midfield being already so good, like, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch have been two of our best players this season, and obviously Van Dijk has been there as well. He's kind of given that grace because it's kind of tough to break into, and we can carry you for now until you can kind of lift us a little bit later. So yeah, I'm not worried about him, but he could be a late season asset.
Probably. I think that's why there were so many questions. Even I had like when Wirtz was dropped, I was like, it's about time he got dropped, because to be honest, there's no point putting you can sometimes the best way to get form back is probably playing through it and trying to get your form back. Sometimes it's also better to take the player out of the spotlight for a bit, take the pressure off him as well, and then slowly reintroduce him back in again. I think it's probably that was the better approach for Wirtz, because it's not like Liverpool's midfield, there was nothing wrong with it, right? Like, if it's not broken, if it's working fine, just keep it as it is. You don't have to break it.
I do think there's a tactical element to it as well. Like, they haven't figured out how to get the ball to him consistently high up the pitch in space. I did feel like that a bit. Like, wherever he's getting the ball, it's either he's really crowded high up the pitch or he's quite deep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, like, once you get the understanding between, like, Isak already will drag away people, probably more than Ekitike. Like, Isak will already
more centrally as well, right? Isak compared to Ekitike.
Yeah. No, you're 100% correct in terms of that. And yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, especially if we play Wirtz, Gakpo, and Ekitike. They all kind of like that left kind of half space. So it becomes problematic. So yeah, Isak loves that kind of right side, which is fantastic. So it kind of keeps the players away from that space. But yeah, you're 100% correct. But I'm still not concerned because his touches are still quite high. It's just, where is he getting those touches? So I think we do see a lineup in the future where he does play that number 10 position. He will come deep to receive the ball if he needs to, if he's getting crowded out, and then kind of like Gravenberch just kind of swaps with him, because he can be super devastating kind of near the box as well, as we've kind of seen already this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a little bit of box score analysis, if I'm to borrow a phrase from basketball about no goals and no assists, and that's just part of the game, unfortunately, where it just doesn't come off like assists wise. And he hasn't really had too many shots. He had one shot against Arsenal, I think, that he dragged wide. Was it Everton? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's nothing to worry about at this point in time. It's just, how do we make this work to make the team better? Because leaving him out is just going to keep the team the same. And that being said, those players are also improving together as they play. So it's still positive signs, I think.
Now, obviously,
we're talking about a player that has had like close to 30 goal contributions multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
Isak or what's?
Wirtz.
Wirtz,
yeah. So he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
He will figure it out.
By default or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Obviously now with Hugo's actually, since we're on the topic of Liverpool, because they're going to be playing obviously a team that is unbeaten in 17 games right now, and Gary says Ekitike will be showing his shots to his top for the rest of the season at the moment, which gives enough time obviously for Isak to make an appearance in this game. Now obviously I asked the question whether Isak will be like the starter, and the reason I asked like for starter for the next two at least, because the reason I asked it is, one, he's probably not going to be fit fully yet. So I was like, okay, Ekitike is out for one game, which means he's going to miss this one. Isak plays this one. Then obviously you have Champions League next week against Olympiacos, I believe. And then followed by the game against Chelsea. And I was like, And then you get the international break after that. So like I was wondering whether Isak could feature in the Crystal Palace game and then the Chelsea game, and not feature in the chat, or come off in terms of from the Champions League, like not start in that one. That was the thinking process for me in terms of that.
But to be honest,
it would be like 50 to 60 minutes of Isak.
Yeah, in each game. Yeah, I can see that kind of happening for sure.
Yeah.
It's I guess in the Crystal Palace game now, it's if Isak isn't fit to play, the other 25 to 30 minutes or whatever, do you get Chiesa to play through the center? And even what you said, Karan, as well, like Wirtz as a false nine, like maybe they try that. But obviously it's all game state dependent. Like I don't think Slot will try something crazy if it's still a draw or we're losing. But if we're winning by a couple of goals, which is probably going to be difficult against this Crystal Palace side because they've just looked so good. Again, 17 games undefeated doesn't happen by accident, right? So it'll be nice to see what Slot does. Given this kind of headache.
And one of those 17 games, so obviously, I don't know if they include the Community Shield as well or not.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
It probably does.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see in terms of Liverpool. So that probably doesn't make Isak an option just yet as well, anyways.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, like, he did score against Southampton, but they're literally coming 19th in the championship, so that's not much.
Does that help? I guess if Isak, as long as Isak doesn't get enough minutes, I don't know how Salah's numbers are going to be as well, because he's not been as involved compared to last season. Now that could be because Liverpool have added a few more attackers into their lineup and the goal share is getting split.
I actually against Everton for the first time, I thought they're figuring it out.
Yeah,
like Salah specifically.
Would that have to be because of the Atletico Madrid game before that as well? Although that was a bit more.
Yeah, I mean Atletico, yes, but I don't know. I always feel like Europe's maybe different. Like, yeah, but yeah, I do feel like they will figure out eventually. But fixtures mean that most people, just going back to FPL for a second, like most people are focused on bringing in Haaland now, right?
Yeah, because Burnley this week. So if you
Liverpool have 3 or 4 bad fixtures.
Yes, so this is why I said they're coming into a tricky patch because they have Crystal Palace now, followed by Galatasaray, not Olympia because I made a mistake there. So Galatasaray, that's also you have to travel all the way to Galatasaray. That's also not an easy place to play at as well. Followed by Chelsea away as well, then international break, then you go into Man United, Frankfurt away, Brentford, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, Manchester City.
Wow.
Before your next international break in November.
There's plenty of minutes to go around for Isak and Nketiah.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty of minutes. But yeah, to the Salah thing as well, like, yeah, I mean, last year, like, his usage would have been so unbelievably high. And it by virtue of the fact we've signed so many attackers, it has to come down. You just have to see him hopefully becoming a little bit more efficient. In his actions, because he's always been such a high volume player. But yeah, it's clear that if you're going to have one of the players between Haaland and Salah, you should probably pick Haaland right now because he is their guy, right? Unquestionably.
Talking about Haaland is more than a pure goal scorer. I think he's still probably the best goal scorer in the Premier League at the moment. In the world, I don't know. Mbappe is doing some crazy stuff at Real Madrid as well, to be honest, at the moment.
Kane scored like 8 goals in like 4 games, something like that. Like,
I always tend to put like an asterisk against the Bundesliga though, because of how open it is in that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But to be honest, Kane's ability as a striker is unquestionable. He has done it in the Premier League as well, so you can't really question that. But Haaland just feels like a whole specimen in himself. That is like,
I mean, he's a giant who's fast, who's good at football, right? Like, it's not, I think it's literally that simple, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like the goal that he scored against Arsenal, as soon as he lays that ball off to Reinders, like him and Gabriel are level, and then he just like takes like 4 strides and he's like 5 meters ahead of him.
Yeah,
it's just gone. Like, it was an absolute madness.
And Gabriel never looked like catching him.
Never looked like catching him. Never, not once. Like I couldn't believe how much space he put between them, in literally between the halfway line and the edge of the box. Like it was just a bit of a madness. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to kind of like touch on, like, to be honest, it had to do with Defcon actually, because Haaland made like 5 defensive actions in that game against Arsenal, and I was just like, this guy is so decisive in both boxes. Like, I've seen him so many times, like, just like get in with the defenders as well, just like whipping headers, like getting him out, getting a touch in between his feet, getting a clearance out as well. So would like to know. Yeah, I'm not particularly sure like if he even came close, but City obviously had so many defensive actions.
Having a big striker is one of the natural counters to the everyone doing set pieces thing, right? Like, because like if you want to add some height in your team, striker is an obvious place once you've already maxed out the back line.
So he only had that 5, but in terms of Defcon. But against
You need
United,
12. Ayon forwards need 12.
yeah,
at
there's
2
a lot
points.
more that's needed.
Oh, okay. So it's geared. Okay, so I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
It's
Okay,
very
No, so I
hard
just
to
like
see.
it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But
See what you're saying.
in terms of goal scoring, though, so obviously Burnley this week, followed by Brentford, Everton, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. I mean, the fixtures are good for Haaland at the moment, which is why everyone's leaning towards Haaland more than Salah from a City perspective.
Is it at the Etihad?
This is at the Etihad, and I think City have really good records against Burnley.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 30-1 or something like that. Or six games or something like that. Yeah, they just routine 5-0 win. But I mean, like, obviously that was peaks Pep City versus Sean Dyche's Burnley.
Yeah, and this is a different Burnley team. Although I still think out of the 3 promoted sides, I still feel like Burnley are the ones who are defensively are still a bit more sus.
Right. They're probably the worst manager, Scott Parker.
Yeah.
3 promoted sides. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Daniel Farker's not great.
Sunderland have a Champions League backline, bro.
Yeah.
They've done good recruitment in the transfer market. But like, yeah.
Sunderland are like a Spanish mid-table side.
Get him in the Conference League next year. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, honestly.
So we'll see. Obviously, this is going to be this is where the question arises of like, how many City players do you want in this team? So obviously, Haaland is a lot everyone's looking at. Reinders, obviously, now when Haaland got subbed off, Reinders was playing like that more false 9 attacking role. Now, we had this discussion on Phil Foden. He was kind of MIA in the Arsenal game. I didn't kind of notice him.
Well, he was forced to play almost right back for a lot of that time as well. Like if they go 2 blocks of 5, it doesn't really leave a space for a creative number 10. And then they didn't really try. And like that was so he came off I think in the 68th minute.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's like because basically Pep was just like, if I'm going to ask someone to defend, I may as well get a defender to do it. So I guess he was sacrificed a little bit in that game. I mean, he looked sharp in the Champions League. But that's against 10 men as well. So obviously, you know, it's hard to kind of take a lot of insight from that. But I think he's on the path to kind of bringing back at least to some degree the form that he showed a couple of seasons ago. Like, I mean, like you can't go from PFA Player of the Year to nothing overnight.
It's certainly promising.
Yeah.
How much is he?
8
million.
Yeah.
I think on a free hit for a 1 week punt, I don't mind it.
Yep. Yeah, I also can make an argument for if you wildcard with transfers.
Yeah,
get him as a punt and then transfer out in like 8 or something.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
Wildcarding with transfers, I think he's an okay punt.
Yeah.
He's gonna get minutes. Like Manos is out for a while. And this system, it's like there's 2 number 10s behind Haaland. Like he's natural for one of them. One of those spots.
Yeah. I was thinking of that, but then Bruno Fernandes just continues to deliver points that I'm like, just stick with the tried and tested. Yeah. All right. So from Haaland to Manchester United, and will the November international break be the last for Amorim?
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah.
So go ahead. I'll mention.
Go.
So I was listening to the Talk of the Devils pod, and they mentioned. So this is the pod by the Athletic for United. They mentioned how United like drip feed these results, where they get like a win, and then they just like go like a draw, a loss, and everything, and then like a little while later they'll get another win. And they'll just like drip feed these wins into you. So it's not like absolute like drought in terms of like nothing. There's just like this like tiny wins here and there, but nothing consistent.
Yeah, so I can put some numbers behind that as well. So I think since Amorim took over, you guys haven't won more than 1 game per month.
We haven't won 2 games in
Premier League. Yeah. Well, that lad who said he's not going to cut his hair, he's gonna have to get braids or something because at this point in time, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
He's waiting for 5.
There's a shampoo company sponsorship it's coming on for sure. But yeah, like my whole thing about this November international break. So apparently, if United fire Amorim in the first year of his contract, they have to pay him a £12 million kind of release or whatever it is.
It's all right. He comes out in the press and says he doesn't want his.
Yeah, look, he said that plenty of times
Yeah.
because in many ways I kind of respect that so much. Like, what are they going to do? Fire me? Like, I've already said that I'm going to walk away. Like, so it's I kind of really respect that quite a lot. And also, like when he was asked last year if the Europa League can save their season, it's like nothing can save our season. It's just a fantastic line. But yeah, if they fire him after that 1 year mark, then they only have to pay 6.5 million, and that 1 year anniversary coincides with the November international break. So I think that's the logical time for them to actually let him go to save. I mean, Uncle Jim loves to save a bit of money here and there, So I mean, a nice cool 5.5 million in his back pocket is probably a nice go. So I can see that kind of happening. They won't be the first team to fire a manager now that Nuno's already gone as well, and it gives them time. But yeah, my whole point about this spiel basically was just to ask you guys, like, who would you want to replace him? Like this, there's always this. We always say that people need to go, but we always need to say that what needs to come in place as well. Otherwise, it's kind of a moot point, right?
So before the season started, right, I was asked in like the Australia FPL community chat of what is a good set of results for Manchester United in the first 7 to 8 fixtures. So I went lost against Arsenal, which happened. Who did we play second? We played Fulham away. I went Fulham. A win against Fulham, which didn't happen. It ended up being a draw. So instead of 3, we ended up with 1. I went a win against Burnley, which we got. So we got that. So we were 2 points down from the initial prediction. I went actually a loss against City. That ended up happening.
Yep.
I went a draw against Chelsea because Chelsea have a horrible record at Old Trafford, and that continues. I don't know how.
Yeah, they haven't won since 2013, right?
Yeah, so instead of a draw, we got the win. So we've gone back to the 2 point that we lost from their prediction. And then I went win against Brentford and win against who's the next one? Sunderland. So now he needs to win the next 2 games. And then I'll be like, okay, he's kind of maintained what I thought he would get because he's still on points with City at the moment, regardless of all the chaos.
Yeah, honestly, I think. Yes, they've looked chaotic and stuff, but this has been a tough fixture run.
Yes, we've had the hardest fixture run in the opening 5.
Yeah, so I don't think they're gonna fire him. I mean, maybe if they lose the next 2 games.
Yeah. He needs to win the next 2 games.
Firing talk is sure they could fire him, but I think they're actually gonna give him the season.
Okay.
Now, an interesting other thing that was interesting that I added here was the season attack.
Yeah. So I was gonna mention something. So the statistic expected goals on target.
Yes.
I just watched a YouTube video. If I can find it, we can link it later or something.
Well, I can just explain it really quickly if you want. So basically, XG is chance quality, and expected goals on target is shot quality. So like the actual shot that was taking, how likely is it to go in based on the placement of the goal and how hard it was hit and footedness, all that kind of stuff. So that's the difference between those 2 things.
So so my understanding is like the shot that you produce from the chance, like how much
exactly.
XG,
how likely is it to go in based on the placement and the power and all that kind of stuff.
So how much of that XG did you realize as XGOT? Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Man United over the last 5 seasons has had the worst ratio in the league.
I'm not surprised.
Right? And I also saw that like we've never created as much XGOT as we have in the last 5 years in the first 5 games of this season.
5 games? Yeah. There's a lot of. You guys have had a lot of shots.
So, and they've also found that the delta performance after the first 5 games is very predictive of the season. So the last time Man United were top 5 in the league for this stat after 5 games, they finished top 5.
There you go.
So I think there's a chance that Amorim's system is starting to look better. The defense is chaos. He has to figure that out. Like the attack is like there's like free flowing.
We're bottom for defense
for the first time. Yeah, I mean,
So XGOT conceded. You guys are bottom.
Yeah. Not exactly bottom, but like bottom table. If you
gotcha.
Yeah. Burnley are bottom, which is why I said Burnley were sus for defense.
Yeah. Okay.
But our expected goals minus expected goals conceded is getting better and better, which is always
XG differential. Yeah. That's a good way to measure if a team is progressing. It's just your XG differential over time. So basically, or XG differential per 90 over a season is always a good metric. Basically.
I should add there's a level of game state that needs to be accounted for as well. For example, like the game against City City kind of had it in the bag, right? And then United started attacking, obviously XG. This is where game stat in terms of like stat padding comes into play, and that is stat padding for not like the correct reasons as well, to be honest.
You just kind of hope it averages out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Game state affects that stat a lot.
Yeah, of course, that's right. But that's why a single game's kind of like statistics aren't really super relevant, right? We need to look at an average or a rolling average over a sustained period of time.
Yeah. I thought I'll add this table here. We had a look at it in yesterday's team selection as well. So we'll see what Amorim can come under. And then the final thing, Chelsea. Reece James and his crossing. That's the only good thing about Chelsea.
Man, if he still had his full athleticism, he'd be England's best right back.
If only he was fit for an entire season. If only England's best fullbacks in Luke Shaw and Reece James weren't made out of wheat picks.
Yeah. But Reece James' crossing is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. Honestly, like I can't think of a player that crosses the ball better than him.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Their best fullbacks are never fit.
That's the thing. So my whole thing, like why I wanted to talk about this in the first place, is just like, how do Chelsea still have gaps in their squad after spending £2 billion? It doesn't really make any sense. Like the first thing you probably should address, and Alex Ferguson said this so many times, like if you have a guy that can score goals and a guy that can keep out the goals, you have a good chance of winning the league. And they don't have either of those things. Like, sure, Cole Palmer can score goals and things like that. He's a very good player at creating and progressing and things like that. He's not going to score you 25 goals a season. It seems that they could have, allocated a portion of that $2 billion to solve those two problems, but they just haven't. And it's just ridiculous. Like I can see them kind of going down the path of Man United, where they've been run more like a business than a football club, which is obviously shit for the fans, but it's good for the stock market. But who gives a fuck about that unless you want to invest in Chelsea shares? Like that's just not for us, though, is it? It's a whole different podcast. So it's just like you look at all the players in their team and like their best, they're shot. Don't get me wrong, Caicedo's been fantastic, and he, I think he just probably has a little bit too much space to cover. That's why he's not being as effective as he could be. But that goal against Brentford obviously was fantastic. But then, like, how is after again spending £2 billion, your best player is an academy graduate? That just seems really foolish on their part. But yeah, the man's made of glass, so it doesn't necessarily matter too much. He'll play 25 games a season max.
Probably. It depends on how his minutes are managed. Now, obviously, you mentioned Cole Palmer. He's apparently supposed to be out for at least 3 to 6 weeks. Is one source that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah, which kind of everyone who was looking to buy Cole Palmer in like game week 8, with Chelsea's fixtures becoming slightly bit better, where they play
3 to 6 weeks or game weeks.
Who?
3 to 6 weeks or game weeks.
3 to 6 weeks apparently.
Okay.
So obviously that includes the international break and everything as well. But still. But that's not officially confirmed. It's just from one of the sources from Planet FPL. But yeah. Anyways, one to monitor. So it doesn't seem that great at the moment. Which kind of puts me like, Joe Pedro is the only Chelsea player I would ever want at the moment for FPL purposes.
Yeah, well, the defense is so chaotic as well. Like it's like Robert Sanchez can be a really good keeper one day, but then he's just the worst keeper in the world the next, right?
Yeah.
So with that reliability at the back.
Yeah.
I do think Chalobah is an interesting option. He's the target for all the set pieces.
I mean, with a forehead like his, he better be. Like he's just like he's
5-head.
Bordering on 7-head almost. Like it's quite large. But it was a good head. But again, like that, and it was Reece James that put in the cross for that ball, right? So it's every time. If I was playing Chelsea, I would just be like literally just double James. Like they don't really have too much else going on. Like just do not let this man cross the ball. Get it to anybody else.
Which this week, Brighton, it will have to be Mitoma's job, potentially.
To be honest, Chelsea should have just bought Brighton as a club. They keep buying all their players. They could have just bought the whole club for like 500 million and be like, yeah, man, like we'll just use you as like Strasbourg or like Vitesse or some of these other guys that we've been having. Like they already done multi-club ownership. Why not do them in the same league?
But like so will be a very interesting game, this one. As long as they don't get a red card early and Maresca doesn't throw everything out from like the next minute that the red card is gone, it's like, right, we're not attacking today.
He took up the whole attack.
Yeah, literally.
Well, yeah, it was Esteval and Neto, right?
Yeah.
And then Palmer as well, but Palmer
was injured. Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Esteban makes sense because you had to bring out a goalkeeper, but then he took out.
And then after Casemiro got sent off, you can't put them back on.
Exactly. So it is what it is, but like so will be interesting. Now, in terms of teams that we haven't touched on, let's go to Spurs and Thomas Frank because they have 2.03 expected goals here against Wolves. Wolves, I think Wolves will come good. They're bottom of the table right now, but like they're creating chances. The only problem I have with Wolves is their defending is bad and their attacking is bad.
Okay, that's an understatement. Wolves have conceded 2+ XG in every single
Exactly.
game.
Their defending is bad and their attacking is bad.
They're getting relegated.
I honestly think, like, if you look at them playing, they create so many chances. They just can't finish.
Right, okay.
And
Strand Larsen's there forward, right?
Yeah, but then he was injured for a bit as well, right? That was an issue. But they just can't finish. Now, obviously, they won in the UEFA Cup this week, but like
Ryan, the Google Meets is about to end.
Oh, okay. Shall we jump off and then before?
Yeah.
All right, you guys jump off, and I will send you guys a new one. All right, let's send these guys a new one. And we wait for Karan.
And we're back.
Yes. Now, are we back in the right camera spots? I hope so. Yes, we are back in the right camera spots. All right.
Amazing.
So, I mean, yeah, they're looking bad at the moment. It's just that I think there is options, possibility, but like, yeah. But at the moment, Spurs.
Super tight at the back.
Yeah.
Just the exact opposite of what we said last season, right? So, I mean, like, was firing Ange the right move?
Oh, yeah. United should have done the same with Ten Hag earlier, but, you know.
But hiring Thomas Frank was definitely the right move.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. United probably should have gone for him, right?
Who? Thomas Frank?
Thomas Frank.
Ooh.
Everyone should have. He's a ridiculous.
Yes, probably. The only thing is, this is the thing with United. I feel like with United, the problem with United is not the football. It's the things around in terms of media pressure. Like majority
it's also the football.
Yeah, no. But I feel like being able to manage the media and manage the expectations and the pressure that comes with it would probably keep you in a job longer than, because you look at Ten Hag, he just started speaking like, I don't know what, he lost the job as soon as, like, it just makes no sense, which is probably what is keeping Amorim in a job right now. It's just because he's able to handle that at the moment.
They should be honestly protecting the manager from the media more.
Yeah.
Like the amount of media expectation is crazy.
So I felt like if Thomas Frank had come to that, because that might have been a bit too much to go from Brentford to United. I think going to Spurs now, it's not that I'm not saying Spurs are not a big club. It's just that it's like a different level of media scrutiny when it comes to like the likes of United's, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Barcelona.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Amorim went from Sporting to Man U, right?
Yes, that's true. But like, I don't know. I just feel like when he's also struggling, right? Amorim. It's just that he's able to, like, he's honest in the media, so the media is giving him a pass for the moment to a level because of it. But yeah. Anyways.
But yeah, I don't think Wolves will beat Spurs. I don't think so. Fellaini will stuff out a lot of those chances.
Now,
I think Xavi Simons is an interesting pick, right? Like, they looked a lot better once he came on. They're playing him sort of on the left in kind of like that Son role, and then as soon as they put him in the middle of the pitch, they looked a lot better. So
yes,
he probably will be their number 10 going forward, and then he'll be a great pick. If he's got 70 minutes or more, he's a great pick.
Yeah, I have him on my wildcard as a punt for the moment, and I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think there's I think there is a lot of places to put the money though.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Yeah.
Sam in the chat is a Spurs fan, and he's like, Kudus is probably a better option.
Ooh.
But Kudus is going to get 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's probably the reason he's mentioning Kudus as a better option, because of the lack of anyone else capable of playing in his position at the moment, because Kulusevski is also out injured.
Yep.
That's probably the reason.
Right. I mean, they've got options, haven't they, when everyone's fit?
Yeah, but at the moment Kulusevski is not fit, which is why because
Madison's out.
Xavi Simons, he still has Bergwall who can play in that 10, maybe not as effective as obviously as Xavi Simons. Then on the left there's Odegaard as well, who can potentially play as well, who actually did play before. There's Johnson as well, which is why he was like Kudus as a slightly better option. But I just feel like Xavi Simons has like that X factor. He looked good in the central 10.
He gives you a genuine goal threat, which only
yes.
Madison gives you from that spot.
Yeah, that's kind of why I want to go.
Kudus doesn't give you that much.
Yeah. All right. And then another team. What are the teams that we missed? Okay, so Aston. Actually, wait. Newcastle. I think we should give Newcastle a bit of their props, because I wanted to give Newcastle some props. They are currently the best defense in the Premier League at the moment.
Really?
Yes, they are. Followed by Arsenal and Bournemouth, which explained the 0-0 between Newcastle and Bournemouth. And followed by Liverpool after that, Crystal Palace up there as well. So Crystal Palace and Liverpool will be an interesting game as well, because two teams with some good defenses.
Sunderland number 6.
Yeah, honestly, this Sunderland team, I underestimated it, to be honest. It's way better than what I thought. Their goalkeeper is pretty good. He's been keeping them in games, to be honest.
I mean, yeah. Their defenders are really good.
Yeah.
As you're saying, Champions League level defense.
I mean, it's a guy from PSG. It's a guy from Atletico.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they've done good recruitment, I would say. That's the thing. But Newcastle. I was thinking of obviously this is going to be a tough game for Newcastle, but then after that their games improve. So for anyone looking for Newcastle assets, what do you think?
Honestly, I think I read that because Eddie Howe normally plays very front foot, pressing heavy, high intensity football, right? And last season, with all the extra Champions League games, just completely cracked it, right? Playing like that. So this is a pragmatic adjustment to ensure that they can still compete on all fronts.
Yes. But
he's literally playing 5 at the back, right? So it's like a 5-2-3, 5-3-2 kind of thing.
How is it?
And they're barely creating anything. So
yes.
Newcastle games are awful to watch.
Yeah.
So they're defensively good, but this Newcastle Arsenal game is probably going to be quite boring.
Yeah.
Haram. Yeah.
It's at best a 1-0 or 0-0. It's written on the cards.
In terms of FPL picks, what do you think? Like, my pick is probably Lewis Hall if he's.
Ooh, so I have Nick Pope in goal on my wildcard.
Oh, Nick Pope is a great pick.
Yeah. Lewis Hall, yeah. Dan Burn is also not too bad. He's been hitting Defcon as well.
Yeah, but I feel like he may lose his spot to
Portman. Yeah. I don't mind. Which is why I have Nick Pope.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper.
Nick Pope is good. I think Livramento could be good as well.
Yes.
Both sides.
Yeah. So.
And Trippier is not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So.
Arsenal's record at St James Park is quite poor as well, isn't it? They lost there last season, I remember.
Ooh. Generally, St James Park is not an easy place to.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if the game's a draw.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I thought I
mentioned. On the break, Wissa's not fit yet, right? He got injured.
No, he's still out. And the thing is, so now Walter Martin, the last couple of games, he loves to get involved in the play.
Yeah,
and that leaves that pocket of space still vacant because of that. So this is where when we first mentioned him, I think you mentioned about was it you or I mentioned the little man, big man combination of how they'll set up, which will be interesting to see. So we'll have to wait and see for that. We won't know that until maybe after the international break.
So they're switching to a 5-3-2. It's quite obvious because they want to have that midfield three of Guimaraes, Tonali,
Joelinton.
Yeah, the thing is, Anthony Gordon has been suspended for three of the Premier League games.
Oh, is he okay? I mean, yeah, that should be over now,
Yeah,
right?
and he'll be back for this game.
Yeah, he'll be back. He doesn't really score goals.
So you can see the vision. The vision is Voltemata and Vissa up front together.
Yeah,
most likely. So
And
we'll
now
have
that
to see.
Vissa's injured, I don't know. Probably Alanga is the one that benefits from the space.
But he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been starting. So maybe Anthony Gordon when he's back. I don't know.
I mean, Alanga he should be playing.
Yeah.
He was great.
These are the question marks that we still don't know about Newcastle because of all the injuries and everything. We'll see. This game will be interesting to see as well because Arsenal will maintain a lot of the ball still.
So for FPL, bringing back to FPL, I have 2 Arsenal defenders and I'm extremely happy to start them.
Yes.
Because I just don't think Newcastle are going to pose much of a threat. Like their defense might be solid, but outside of sitting back hoping to counter, I don't think they pose much threat.
Yeah.
That's fair. Arsenal haven't won there in 3 years though.
Oh.
Last 3 attempts in the Premier League.
So you're telling me
they lost the EFL Cup semi-final, both legs to the last season.
A nil-nil is on the cards.
Yeah,
very likely. To be honest. Anyways, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I'd say.
And Arsenal have shown they've really struggled against low blocks, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We'll see.
Leeds, Bournemouth. I guess we touched about Bournemouth a bit in terms of the back and forth game. It's probably going to be the same thing. Yeah. Play Tennessee. Leeds have been pretty decent, but attacking wise, they're struggling, I'd say. Even though they scored 3 last week, I think that's more down to Wolves than Leeds.
Hey, Calvert-Lewin looks alright.
Yeah, and now people are saying Calvert-Lewin is the FPL option. I'm like, have you guys not seen Calvert-Lewin in the last couple of years? Man can't stay fit.
He's about 1.5 90s from getting injured.
Exactly. Please.
1.5 90s.
Calvert-Lewin is not an FPL pick. I'm going to tell you guys now it's off.
If you value your money, you will buy this.
Yeah. Tennessee, good. Semenyo, good. But Kluivert is getting back in terms of minutes. So it will be interesting to see once he's properly fit and playing. But Tennessee is just, really
I just want to know if Semenyo has pens.
No, not when Kluivert is on the pitch. When Kluivert was on the pitch, he was taking set pieces
but that's
as well.
a theory, right? Let's see what happens.
Oh, no. Well, Kluivert
got a hat-trick of pens last season.
Yeah.
No, but I mean
one
this season.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
No, I still think
Semenyo was on the pitch at that time as well. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You might just... I mean, back when James Milner played for us, he took penalties over Salah because he was just a better penalty taker. You don't pick based on reputation. You pick on who's better at taking penalties.
Yep.
But it's unlikely to change. Yeah, anyways. Well, Kluivert was taking the free kicks when he was on the pitch. So I'm assuming pens will be the same. But anyways, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. For now...
I mean, if he doesn't have pens, maybe he's not a season hold.
No, if he doesn't have pens, he's probably not. Once Kluivert is back in, then no. City we have touched on, nothing else to add on. Forest, Sunderland, I mean, Ange hasn't been doing too well. I mean, what a hit from Williams though, I should say, from the goal last week. Thank you for the points. Goodbye now. I've sold it. Because I don't trust Ange and Forest defense.
Well, I mean, like, was it Swansea that they lost to in the middle of the week? Where they were 1-0 up? And then,
I think so. On pens, did they lose? I think something like that, yeah.
No, they conceded 2 late goals, right?
Oh, okay. There you go. See, I told you guys, I don't trust Ange.
Ange is kicking in,
Yeah. I mean, Murilla's out injured, so that's also not looking great. So yeah, this could be a 0-0 as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
probably. Oh, 1-1.
Sunderland away.
Yeah. 1-1 maybe. Isidore will get another goal from somewhere. Sunderland, but yeah. What do you think? Chris Wood worth? People have Forest assets. What do you think? Would still worth keeping or?
If you have Chris Wood, you should wildcard. That's where you do that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Talking about one striker who is bad to another striker who is bad. Aston Villa versus Fulham. Oh, Ollie Watkins. I mean, they scored 1 goal in the Premier League.
They scored the first goal. Yeah, got the first point as well.
I know.
This game is probably a 0-0. I feel like Fulham's just only interested in putting games into mud away from home.
To be honest, at this moment, I won't be surprised if Fulham actually...
And Villa can't create chances to save their life.
No. So this, if you have your Andersons, you probably start Anderson in this one. for the
I would
Defcon.
have Edison.
Yeah. Matty Cash as well. Talking about fullbacks with a good goal. Matty Cash also, the goal was pretty good, I would say. But this is also probably a draw on the cards at the moment. Anything else to add on this? No?
No, nothing to add on this.
All right. David Moyes against soon-to-be sacked Graham Potter during the international break. Talking about managers being sacked in the international break.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll see Nuno at West Ham by Christmas.
Yeah, probably.
I was hoping it was Mourinho. I was so hoping it was Mourinho.
Yeah, Mourinho has done a classic
Benfica can
Mourinho. He basically played against Benfica, lost, got sacked because he lost against Benfica, and then Benfica lost against Quarterback, and then he was like, I'll take your job.
I'll take your job.
I put you in the Champions League, so might as well.
Well, he's going back to Chelsea and Real Madrid, right? So
yeah,
exactly. That's interesting.
So yeah,
react to that.
but it would have been funny to have Jose Mourinho at West Ham as a manager. But yeah,
I mean, it's just back in the Prem. Like I feel like I need that, just like energy.
Yeah,
there's too many nice managers now. I need that dastardly manager back.
Yeah,
that's the super villain you kind of cheer for. But yeah, the David Moyes derby. I mean, like Everton should walk this, right? West Ham have looked atrocious. Except for their one performance against Forest, which is just so odd.
Which made Forest look even worse. Imagine you got smashed 3-0.
Well, I mean, at that stage, Nuno probably knew he was leaving anyway, so maybe it was just like kind of down tools and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, how are they going to contain Jack Grealish? How are they going to contain Dewsbury Hall? I mean, like Beto as well. Everton look much improved this season. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 2-0 win.
I have Elaban Endai. Good game. Tarkovsky.
Tarkovsky is going to get 15 points.
Yeah, he's going to get... No,
he's going to get 15 points.
West Ham...
West Ham are the worst team from set pieces.
Set pieces, yeah. They've conceded 7 goals, have they? From corners?
Tarkovsky's going to score a goal, get Defcon, clean sheet.
Yeah, fair.
Tarkovsky, even Keane will get a goal. Watch this game.
We should watch this game. Yeah, that's a great shout as well, yeah. As you're saying, like, yeah, Tarkovsky got 5 from 5, right, for Defcon?
Yeah.
6 for 6 in this one, and they can't contain him.
Yeah.
And Grealish will win you heaps of corners anyway. So
exactly. Yeah. So free hit, I think you should have Tarkovsky on a free hit regardless. And then probably I would have Endai as well, because Endai is also pretty good for Defcon, to be honest, because of the amount of defensive work he does in midfield. But yeah, definitely have them.
What do you think of Tyler Dibbling? They bought him for like 50 mil or something, right?
Went from 100 million.
50 mil, really?
Yeah, he went from 100 million to 50 million in the space of a couple of weeks.
It was 100 million?
When United came calling, he was 100 million.
Well, there's United tax on
that. Yeah, exactly. That's 50 million of tax.
Yeah, 42 million pounds.
42? Damn, man. That's just like a stock. 40 million is just like stock standard players now, isn't it? Like that's.
Well, I mean, he's like 19-year-old.
Sure. And he was very good at Southampton.
And he's like, he was good in that season in the Premier League, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which adds a huge premium.
Yep.
But anyway, he's going to play on the right. Like, he's a winger that plays on the right. Slight threat to India's minutes, but India has been so good.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried.
I don't really think.
Yeah.
All right.
McNeil. Does Everton still have McNeil?
Yes, on the bench.
McNeil doesn't get into the team now because India's got the right wing locked up.
Yeah,
Grealish has got the left wing.
I think Grealish on the other side. Yeah, okay.
And Dewsbury Hall plays the 10.
Yeah.
But I think India can also play the 10.
That put Dewsbury Hall and Ghana in the midfield then at that point. Yeah.
And Dewsbury Hall will always play, I think.
Dewsbury Hall is one yellow card away from 1 game suspension, I think.
Right.
Already?
Yeah, he's already got 4.
And Alcaraz is back as well. So this is actually a pretty good Everton squad. Like, this is the best squad they've had in a while, I think.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Which leads us to, which is why probably Everton, you can see like the directness is slightly less, and it's not like the ball build-up has also gone up, but like, maybe because of the amount of ball players they have now. I don't know.
It's not the only one going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and Chelsea. Right? Yeah.
But yeah.
Less build up and more direct.
Yeah. All right. So that's basically it. We touched on the season attack and defense as well. Karan, your team. You've been playing chips, and you've been getting. This is a 3 3,455 game week rank out of what, 11 million managers?
Yeah, what a
Not
crazy-
bad. Not bad.
And I didn't come on the pod, but my wildcard game week 4 got 94 points.
Oh, don't worry. I showed it on the pod last week.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it was like I couldn't have imagined that these chips would go this well.
Yep.
Like I was 7 million, and now I'm 500k
Insane.
in 2 game weeks.
Yeah. And now
Yeah,
you're
but,
playing another chip this week because you loved the chip so much.
Yeah, but this is I mean, this was I didn't actually get the bench boost was 13 points.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good, not great bench boost. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say, yeah.
3 points per player.
Yeah, in a single game week as well, I'd say. I mean, I think if you were thinking about it, maybe you would have preferred to have started. I mean, no one was starting Reinders, right? So a lot of us.
No, I wasn't going to start Reinders anyway.
Yeah.
I think this was a legitimate benching order.
Yeah.
This is how I would actually bench it. I think Arteta got a yellow card. He didn't do anything. Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I think even Spurs could have cleaned. Yeah.
Fair play on the Bruno Fernandes captaincy, though. That I should add, to be honest.
That I didn't have any other options, so it was kind of.
Well, it was
my
Semenyo, other one, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I was always gonna go Bruno over Semenyo.
Yeah, okay.
But not having Salah saved me, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Otherwise, you would have gone Salah.
Yeah.
Like Salah's ownership percentage must be way down this season. Last season must have.
It will be going down this week. It's going down this
Pretty
week.
high, but people are now switching to Haaland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week it's dropping quite a bit. Yeah. But like, yeah. Good score. 81 points. For those of you on the pod on the audio who can't see this, he's got Dubravka in goal, Munoz, Anderson, Senesi, Gabriel in defense, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, and Minte with the goal in midfield. Joe Pedro, Haaland, and Gyökeres up front, which is what a lot of wildcarders will have now. On the bench, you have Vicario, Lucas Paqueta, Calafiori, and Reinders. So, quick question to you. Haaland triple captaincy. If Pep comes and says Haaland is not fit, do you cancel the triple captaincy? Or do you keep it on? Are you happy with Bruno as a vice captain option, or is there someone else you're looking at vice captaincy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna probably do it unless he says something like that. Yeah. But if he says something like that, I just want to do it.
Okay.
There's quite a few. There's like Salah in like game week 13 or something. There's Haaland against Leeds in 14. There's Palmer against Sunderland in game week 10 or 9. Yeah. So there's quite a few options.
Okay.
I'm not that worried about it. Like, this is not a chip that requires any planning. So
no, you just play it on who you think is.
just play it when you feel like it.
Yeah. All right. Now, I, on the other hand, on a wildcard, I did get a decent number of score, actually. I got 62 points, and I had 19 points on my bench.
Wow.
Yeah, I should have bench boosted alongside you, but I didn't. So I made 2 drafts. One is a draft with Haaland and Salah, and one is a draft of Haaland only. This draft that is on screen right now is the Haaland only draft. And for those of you listening on the audio, I went for Nick Pope in goal. One, because, it's a hard fixture against Arsenal, but after that, I think the fixture is actually pretty good. And I think people who are wildcarding in game week 8 and 13 will start to look at more Newcastle options as well. So I kind of wanted to be a bit more ahead. My other goalkeeper alternatives were Petrovic from Bournemouth, who are actually doing pretty well as well, and Vicario from Spurs. The only thing with Vicario is I felt like the next 2 are good, and then the fixtures get a bit more harder in terms of like defense. But then I had Romero as well in my defense. I was like, okay, I didn't feel like doubling up on Spurs defense per se. And in this case, I haven't really doubled up on any defense at the moment. So in defense, I've gone for Gabriel, Senesi, and Romero. I've gone a midfield of Reinders, Xavi Simons, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, and Ndai. Up front, I have Haaland and Joe Pedro. On the bench, I have Dubravka. I have Gyökeres on the bench because we were just talking about Newcastle last night. I was like, draw. I have Roden on the bench as well. And I have Mukiele, who is also really good for Defcon. He's hit Defcon in every game.
Yep.
This is a Haaland draft. Thoughts?
Yeah, I quite like it. I think having 2 Spurs players is going to be a little bit of a headache because, like you said, the fixtures are going to switch in 2 games.
So I think one of my plans was Romero will become Anderson in like game week 10. when Fulham's fixtures improve?
I mean, I was gonna say I'd probably think about upgrading Romero to a Tarkowski or a Guardiola.
But then the problem is that Everton's fixtures after this week are not as great for clean sheet perspective. But then you can say Tarkowski probably Defcon will just pay it off.
Somewhat fixture-proof.
Those 15 points that he's going to get you this week. Triple captain Tarkowski this week, and then that's just a problem solved, right? Yeah.
I wish I could triple captain and wildcard in the same week, but I can't.
I think also Ryan. I think I don't know. Like I like Petrovic as a better pick than Pope. I think.
Fair enough. I was thinking about, but I already have Senesi as well. The only reason
I think it's a nice pick actually, Petrovic.
Yeah.
Not many people will have him.
Yeah. The only thing I've gone for Pope is, I just feel like if Newcastle can maintain their defense, I'll kind of be like one step ahead in terms of, because like when you wildcard now, you're not going to change your goalkeeper for the next till like game week 17, 18, 19, 20, right? You're not going to change your goalkeeper for a long time. So in that I just think where once you walk out without Salah, you're gonna at some point maybe need to get Salah and Haaland. Oh, so the cash.
It's easier to squeeze all the money out.
Yeah.
When you walk out, because you won't be able to do it later.
Yeah, fair enough. So I could probably go and get Petrovic instead. That's an option.
I think that for that reason, I think Petrovic, and also Bournemouth are an elite defense.
Yeah.
Completely elite defense.
Yeah. So that's another option. Now. That's one draft. This is the Haaland draft. This is the Haaland plus Salah draft, which has Petrovic in goal. It has Gabriel, Senesi, and Dan Burn, which could be anyone else, to be honest. Reinders, Salah, Kudus instead of Xavi Simons, Semenyo, and Endai. Haaland up front, Joe Pedro up front. But I had to have downgrade Gyökeres to Foster from Burnley, which is not ideal. And then the rest are Dubravka, Roden, and Mukiele. So the only things that change, if you see like the color changing, is the goalkeeper has changed from Pope to Petrovic. Romero, Dan Burn are very similar pricings. Like Romero is like just 0.1 extra. There is, instead of Xavi Simons and Bruno Fernandes, I have Salah and Kudus. And instead of Gyökeres, I have Foster. So if I had played my bench boost, then might have been a bit more of a viable strategy this, where I just like don't have to worry about cash. But like, yeah.
I think not having Bruno for the next two is going to be a mistake.
Yeah, and like Brentford and Sunderland, I would like to have him compared to Salah.
How many free transfers do you have?
How many free transfers? I have two. I'll have 2 free transfers after this from next week.
Okay. Yeah. So I like going no Salah with the plan of maybe bringing in Salah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So probably this draft, and I downgrade Pope to maybe Petrovic.
And
upgrade.
I know I went Gyökeres on my wildcard, but and I think it's an okay pick, but I think there are better picks.
Yeah, I was thinking. So I had one with when I asked you that Isak question, and I was like, "Oh, it's toying." I did like because I have 1 million in the. I don't have 1 million. It's technically 0.9. This is. I did like Gyökeres to Isak, and I kind of then downgraded Romero to like a 4.5 option, and also I think Pope to Petrovic. But then again, Isak might not get consistent minutes, so it's probably not worth it. And I know Arsenal this week not great, but then after that, fixtures are good for Arsenal.
I like the. Would you pick Saka? Would you consider Saka?
I want to see Saka with more minutes.
I mean, he's got to play, right? Madueke is out.
Yes, no. But I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I watched the highlights. But in the highlights, when Martinelli was on, Saka was on the left for some reason.
They were just interchanging. I'm pretty sure Saka's.
I don't know because like even in goal kicks, he was still maintaining on the left on the highlights. So I don't know what exactly whether that was target Nunes or not. Because if you see the goal as well, it's because Martinelli is on the right and he comes from the right that he takes that goal. So he was remaining on that right hand side for quite a bit. I thought initially it was just an interchange, but even in the goal kicks, they usually if it's an interchange, they swap back right during goal kicks. They were still on that same. So I wasn't sure whether that's they want to try Saka out as well. He started out on the right when he came off the bench, but when Martinelli was on, it had swapped. So I don't know if it's like they want to they still don't want to rush Saka in, and they're willing to try how Martinelli does on the left and Eze maybe on the Martinelli on the right and Eze on the left as a possibility as well for the future. But that's something that I noticed. I was like, interesting. But yeah,
maybe they were targeting like a fullback. They thought
that's what, because Nunes was on the pitch, right, instead of Kusanov at that point. So it could have been that they were just targeting Nunes as well.
Yeah. Interesting. I just think the Xavi pick is a bit. I think it's a good pick, but in 2 game weeks you're probably going to, because Spurs defense I don't mind in the tough fixtures.
Yeah,
but Spurs attack you're probably not going to.
No, that'll. But I'm happy. It's like Wolves and Leeds, right? So it's high potential games. After that,
we could downgrade Gyökeres and turn Xavi into Foden.
So yes, so this was another mention where I could downgrade Gyökeres to like a Richarlison, for example, if I still wanted the next 2, and then have Foden instead.
I think because you have bench boost, you should be looking to wildcard into a bench boost soon. Probably.
Yeah, which is why I'm like game week 8 or game week 9, and my bench boost. I'll tell you now itself. It'll basically be the bench you see, except for Gyökeres. It'll probably be Endai on that bench. And Endai will be playing either Manchester City, which is I don't mind, or Spurs.
I honestly like the draft with Lyle Foster more.
As a bench boost option? Or
like if you go Gyökeres to Foster, then spread it around a bit.
The only thing is I look at Arsenal's next couple of fixtures and I go, is this a Gyökeres game? Because with Saka, Gyökeres should also improve.
Yeah. I mean that's why I have him.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yep. Would you go with João Pedro or no way?
I was thinking of without João Pedro, but like he's the only Chelsea attacker I probably want at the moment, and they're still a good team, right? It's not like they're a bad team overnight.
Well, you know who's going under the radar? Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson is going under the radar. The fixtures are great.
But he's not scoring, that's the problem.
Yeah, but he's nailed in a team that...
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just that the points are not coming. That's kind of why. But yeah, I think Gyökeres is that one question mark position where I'm like, not really sure. I was considering Walter Mada as well for a point. But then
Sesko is...
No, now with Mason Mount back, I don't know.
2 game weeks.
Maybe. I would rather say Mbuemo instead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's also not a bad option.
Yeah.
But I already have
India is a lock on wildcard.
Yeah. So my locks on wildcard are Bruno Fernandes, Reinders. In that midfield, Xavi is the only one that's like a question mark. Same thing with I think Gyökeres up front. In defense, it's probably Romero, and I could say Mukiele as well, but it's Mukiele or Estem from Burnley. And I don't mind.
You don't want Anderson? Anderson is the other Defcon.
That is the game week 10 transfer. I feel like if I look at Fulham's upcoming fixtures, Fulham play Aston Villa this week, which is probably a clean sheet because Aston Villa are struggling. But they play Bournemouth after that. Not great. Arsenal, Newcastle. 3 fixtures where I go no clean sheets.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then I get them for game week 10 where they have Wolves, Everton, Sunderland. So I'm like, that's the reasoning.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So then if I was to go Tarkowski, right, instead of Romero, bank that 15-pointer that's going to come this week. Then I could downgrade Tarkowski to Romero to Anderson in game week 10 because against West Ham this week, yes, good. But then after that, they play Crystal Palace, Man City and Spurs. Game week 10, they have Sunderland. I want Tarkowski again. Maybe I should look at the rotation a bit more, but like it's not.
Maybe Palace and Tottenham at home are not that bad.
Yeah, you'll get Defcon for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's up bad.
4 points is not too bad, I would say. Yeah.
And this guy's gonna come back. Brantwaite's gonna come back at some point.
Yeah, I need to see when exactly. Yeah. So yeah. So I'll play around and see. Maybe I'll put it in I'll rotate and see what the team looks like each week and see how I feel about it. But yeah. Cool. That's it. We managed to keep it to an hour and a half before going too loud. So any further comments before we look to end? And Andy says Bruno is 1 million too much. He's giving points, so I can't really complain.
He's probably about 10 points below what he should be.
Yes.
Missed a pen, missed a lot of chances. People have missed his chances.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. So thank you to Karan and Ayon as well. And any comments before we end?
Not for me. Just glad to be back on. Chat you.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I'll probably get the two of you as a pair going forward for future pods because I think the synergy is pretty good.
Amazing.
Yes.
Glad to hear
it. I mean, Ayon has clickbait. And then
clickbait titles. I didn't put it in the title. I just put it in the video. But in the title, I put
no edits.
Yeah, I put Wildcard and Triple Captain active in the title. Although I can use your clickbaits for maybe YouTube shorts instead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Feel free to do that, man.
Amorim out by November.
Yeah. Amorim out by November. Is Arteta the right manager for Aston? So many question marks. But yeah, thank you very much to everyone who's watching. Next live stream will be the deadline stream, where I don't know if Karan will crash it or not. We'll have to wait and see. And then obviously I'll do a wildcard draft video as well for those of you who want one, which will probably be out tomorrow maybe. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you all on the deadline stream. Peace out.
Yeah.
Ciao.